What if I told you that everything you believe about happiness is a lie? That therapy, self-improvement, love, and even success, none of it will ever bring you real fulfillment. That the moment you get what you want, you will only crave something else, endlessly trapped in a cycle of suffering. This isn't just some dark philosophical idea. It's the brutal truth Arthur Schopenhauer spent his life trying to teach the world. And it's at the heart of the Schopenhauer Cure, a book by Irvin D. Yalom that takes this bleak philosophy and shatters it against the messy emotional reality of human existence. But here's the real shocker. What if Schopenhauer was right? Today we'll break down the Schopenhauer Cure, uncover its deepest truths, and compare it to another masterpiece by Yalom, When Nietzsche Wept. Because these books aren't just stories, they are challenges. They dare us to question everything we believe about life, suffering, and the search for meaning. Imagine spending your life in therapy, struggling with addiction, and never finding a way out. Then one day you discover a philosophy so powerful, so absolute, that it makes everything else seem meaningless. This is Philip Slate, a former patient of Dr. Julius Hertzfeld. Years ago, Philip was a sex addict, compulsive, self-destructive, incapable of real connection. Dr. Hertzfeld tried to help him, but the therapy failed. Years later, as Julius faces his own mortality with a terminal diagnosis, he looks back at his career wondering, did I actually help anyone? Or was it all just an illusion? In a desperate attempt to find meaning in his remaining time, he reaches out to old patients, including Philip. But when he finds Philip, something shocking happens. Philip is cured. Not just better, completely different. He claims to have conquered his suffering, eliminated his desires, and found true peace. And how did he do it? By rejecting therapy entirely and embracing the philosophy of Schopenhauer. Julius, a man who has spent his entire career believing in therapy, is shaken to his core. If Schopenhauer was right, does that mean his life's work was a lie? Dr. Hertzfeld invites Philip to join his therapy group, setting the stage for an intense battle between two opposing worldviews. One. Therapy, which believes in emotional healing, human connection, and self-improvement. 2. Schopenhauer's philosophy, which says suffering is inevitable, desire is a trap, and true peace comes only from detachment. And this is where the real psychological drama unfolds. Philip sees the therapy group as weak, desperate people clinging to illusions. He preaches Schopenhauer's philosophy, telling them that the only way to escape suffering is to stop wanting anything at all. But as the sessions progress, cracks begin to show. Philip might say he has conquered desire, but his cold, detached demeanor hides something dark. And then comes the moment that changes everything. One of the women in the group, Pam, challenges Philip directly. She asks him, if you're so detached, if you don't care about anything, why are you even here? Why are you arguing with us at all? For the first time, Philip has no answer, because deep down, he still wants something. He wants to prove himself. He wants to be right, and the very act of wanting proves that he hasn't escaped desire at all. This is the paradox of Schopenhauer's philosophy. It promises freedom, but can any human being truly detach from the world? If this all sounds familiar, it's because Yalom explored a similar theme in When Nietzsche Wept, another novel that blends philosophy and psychology. But instead of Schopenhauer's pessimism, that book revolves around Nietzsche's philosophy of power, struggle, and self-overcoming. In both books, Yalom asks the same question: what does it mean to heal? In When Nietzsche Wept, Dr. Breuer tries to cure Nietzsche, only to realize that Nietzsche doesn't want to be cured, because struggle is what makes life meaningful. In the Schopenhauer Cure, Philip thinks he has cured himself, but in reality, he has simply built a different kind of cage. Both books force us to confront uncomfortable truths. Can therapy truly heal us? Or are we just managing our suffering in different ways? So what is Irvin Yalom trying to tell us? Is he saying that Schopenhauer was right and therapy is useless? Not quite. What Yalom really wants us to see is that philosophy and psychology are two sides of the same coin. Philip represents the extreme end of Schopenhauer's ideas, an escape from suffering that turns into emotional numbness. Julius represents the belief in therapy, but even he struggles with the idea that maybe not everyone can be saved. The truth lies somewhere in between. Yes, suffering is inevitable. Yes, desire will always lead to more suffering. But complete detachment is just another illusion. In the end, Yalom shows us that true healing doesn't come from rejecting life, nor from endlessly chasing happiness. It comes from understanding suffering, facing it fully, rather than running from it in either direction. What can we learn from this book? 1. You can't escape suffering, but you can change how you face it. Whether you follow therapy or philosophy, the goal isn't to cure suffering, it's to learn how to live with it. 2. Desire isn't the enemy, it's how we relate to it that matters. Chasing desires mindlessly leads to suffering, but completely rejecting them leads to emptiness. Balance is key. 3. Philosophy alone won't save you. Ideas can be powerful, but human connection and emotional healing matter too. 4. There's no single answer to life's pain. Therapy, philosophy, self-improvement, they all have strengths and limits. The real wisdom is knowing when to use each one. The real question, what path will you choose? So now the question is yours to answer. If life is suffering, how will you face it? Will you embrace Schopenhauer's path of detachment and accept misery as inevitable? Will you take Nietzsche's path and transform your suffering into strength? Or will you trust in therapy and human connection to guide you through? Maybe there is no perfect answer. Maybe the best we can do is keep asking the question, and maybe that's what makes life meaningful.